Students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed how to find out refractive index of the prism, and we have even learned angle of minimum deviation also. For angle of minimum deviation, remember that I delta minimum, I will be equal to E, R1 will be equal to R2, and that is equal to R. And this conclusion we have even used in derivation also. And we have got refractive index of the prism. Refractive index mu is equal to sine of A plus delta m divided by 2 by sine of A divided by 2, where delta m is angle of minimum deviation and A is equal to angle of prism. Fine. Usually when we take this formula, refractive index, it is sine of A plus delta m by 2 by sine A by 2. For small angles, sine theta is approximately written as theta. For small angles, sine theta is nearly equal to theta. Small angles in the sense theta is very, very small value. Like for example, what is angle here? Theta is equal to 90 degrees. Suppose if you are decreasing to half, what is this angle? Theta is equal to 45 degrees. These are large values. Suppose you are taking this as the angle. Okay. This angle is very small. Theta is nearly equal to like 0.5 or 0.1 or like that. Very small value. For very small angles, sine 0 is approximately equal to 0. So sine 0 is not approximate. Sine 0 is however equal to 0. But if it is very small, like sine 0.5 or sine 0.7, like that, for very small values, instead of taking this as sine of 0.5 or sine of 0.4 like that, you will be directly taking angle as 0.4. That's it. You don't take sine angle again. So for small angles, sine theta is nearly equal to theta. That I will be using over here. Then from above formula, you can write mu is equal to this. This is very small angle if I consider. Then in such cases, I can neglect this sine angle and I'll simply write it as A plus delta m divided by 2 by, instead of taking sine of A by 2, I'll simply taking it as A by 2. This 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So refractive index mu is equal to A plus delta m divided by A. This is equal to 1 plus delta m divided by A, and from there I can even write, I can write it as mu minus 1 is equal to delta m divided by A, and delta m, angle of minimum deviation, can be written as mu minus 1 into A. This is angle of deviation delta m. Okay. So remember, the angle of deviation depends upon angle of the prism and as well as refractive index of prism. So delta m depends on A and refractive index of prism. So if refractive index is different, then in such cases delta m will be different. Like for example, you are taking two different prisms. Like here is one prism, you have some angle A, and its a refractive index is mu 1. Then in such cases you will have delta m1 and that delta m1 is equal to mu1 minus 1 into A. Similarly, you have one more prism taking here, angle is the same A, here also angle is A, and for this prism it is refractive index mu2. Then in such cases delta m2 is equal to, even though their angles are same, the refractive index are different, therefore angle of deviations will be different. It is mu2 minus 1 into A, where mu1 and mu2 are the refractive index of those two prisms. So one important point to be concluded in this is refractive index. If refractive index of the prism is being changed, then in such cases angle of deviation is also being changed. So for the same prism, if there are two different refractive index like you have prism, in this case I have shown you two angles of prisms are equal, A and A, but their refractive index are different. In such cases deviations will be different. This is very important point you need to understand. Clear? And same formula I can even write it like this. I can write this as A is equal to delta m divided by mu minus 1. This is also even the same relation, right? So one is this one and the other one is this. So we have used one important conclusion from this. We will be using one important conclusion from this part in the next slides and the coming lecture. It is that refractive index, depending on the refractive index, angle of deviation changes. For different refractive index, you will have different angle of deviations. Itself, velocity of light. Velocity of the light v is equal to nu lambda. Velocity of light is equal to nu lambda, where nu is frequency, lambda is wavelength, right? Now if you are taking two different medium, say for example here you have glass and here you have water, right? When light enter into this glass medium and it comes out, similarly it enter into water medium and then it comes out. So light is undergoing refraction. As it is normal incidence, directly it will travel through these two medium. Okay. Now when light is entering into the glass and as well as into the water, speed in glass is not equal to speed in water. This we have already learned. Based on that you will have refractive index. So here you will have refractive index of the glass and here you will have refractive index of water. Velocity of light in glass is not equal to velocity of light in water. Since refractive index are different, refractive index of the glass is not equal to refractive index of water. This basic thing we have discussed in previous chapter itself. Now as we know, velocity is undergoing change. Here when light is traveling from two different medium, the frequency of light does not change even if it is in glass and even if it is in water. So very important thing to be concluded is frequency of light remains constant frequency of light remains constant when it travel in different media. In different media, even though it can travel in any number of media, glass, water, turpentine, or any transparent medium, even it can travel. It's a speed change because lambda is undergoing change. It's not because of the frequency. So frequency of light remains constant wavelength changes. Wavelength changes from medium to medium. From medium to medium, wavelength changes. Therefore, a wavelength of light in glass is not equal to wavelength of light in water. Both are different. Wavelengths does undergo change because refractive index is equal to V1 divided by V2. Refractive index of the second medium divided by refractive index of the first medium will be equal to V1 divided by V2, right? So V is equal to nu lambda, right? Nu lambda, it is nu lambda 1 divided by nu lambda 2. Therefore, refractive index changes with respect to this wavelength. Of course, this part we have already discussed in the previous chapter itself. You need to remember that. So what is my intention is, when light is traveling through different medium, its speed vary because its wavelength is undergoing change, right? That is one important thing you should understand. And next note is, light has different colors. Light has different colors due to its wavelength, due to its different wavelengths. So light exhibit different colors because it has different wavelengths in different media. So for example, wavelength of red is not equal to wavelength of green. Okay. So therefore, as light, it has different wavelengths, it will exhibit different colors. Okay. And as we know, we have violet, blue, green, indigo, different colors we have, right? So what are they? V, I, B, G, Y, O, R. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Now violet has least wavelength, and violet has least wavelength and greater frequency. Similarly, red, greater least wavelength. Violet has least wavelength and it has greater energy. Similarly, red has highest wavelength. And less energy, of course. Okay. So different colors has different wavelengths. Corresponding to their wavelengths, they will have different energies. First, initially wavelength of violet is very less, and then comes indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and as well as red. Red has highest wavelength. So approximately those values can be, violet can have a wavelength of 4000 angstrom, and red has nearly 7000 angstrom. And remember that 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 10 meter. 1 angstrom, 10 power minus 10 meter, and that can be written as 10 power minus 8 centimeter. So centi is 10 power minus 2. So 10 power minus 8 and 10 power minus 2 becomes 10 power 10. So it is 1 angstrom 10 power minus 10 meter, and it is 10 power minus 8 centimeter. So remember this relation for future. These are the things which we have concluded in this particular slide. So as velocity of light will be different in different medium, wavelength will be different. Frequency, however, in any medium will be remain the same. As wavelength undergo change, wavelength is a very important character of light. Wavelength exhibits, because of this wavelength, light exhibits different colors. Different colors has different wavelengths. So starting from violet to red, each color has its own band of wavelength.